that is pretty normal at this point. I think, so normally Wednesdays, they've been a day off for me in terms of streaming. I still work and focus on library work and other things that need to get done. But since I was on vacation the other day, still on vacation on Monday, I figured I could slip in a stream on Wednesday. So it might be a little shorter just because, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm in the middle of still looking at what I did yesterday. I'm still focused on getting a sort of wrapper over SVG stuff built into my stylo library so that I can build more robust extensions and stuff off of that and not mix in 2D and 3D stuff and all that kind of stuff. So pardon me. So yesterday I was working on making a translate function. I poked around in it and I'm pretty sure I have something that works. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but I do believe it works for right now, so I'll just pop in and have a look at that quickly. So we do have here this little test thing, which as I look at this, I wonder if I can just do this, save that, and see if it produces a valid image there. So it seems to. So we've got, let's see here, two circles and a rectangle, and this rectangle is correctly translated backwards. If I edit this, those two, the translated rectangle and the circle, both correctly move. So things are looking pretty good there. Likewise on this little test part here, things are looking pretty okay. I actually want to make let's make a fun little thing here for a minute, just to goof off for a minute, and then I'll see if there's anything obvious that comes to mind for cleaning up the implementation I came up with. But we'll have a look at that in a moment. Let's see here. Okay, so we have that sort of bullseye scenario, which looks pretty neat. Right, so we can translate this one by 5, 0. Have a look at that. And then this one, we can translate the nested set by 5, 0 as well. Yeah, okay, we're getting somewhere. This is kind of fun. That's pretty cool. Pretty ridiculous. And then this thing here, right, this translates the whole bunch all in one go. And if I look, there's no group tags, which is really the thing I'm happy about. So all of these have their translates baked right in, and they're all in the top level sort of. So that's looking really nice. Let me just run it in the REPL just to see what the data structure looks like that's output. It should be good. It should basically be just a list of 4 or 5 circles. Okay, so we have nested lists here. Maybe that's not a problem though. Okay, so the way that this runs is a little strange, right? There's a weird, yeah, it's a little strange, but it does inevitably terminate. The only issue is how it's building up these lists is probably a little bit wrong. But everything does behave as expected. Which is very nice. Okay, so for the time being, I'm happy with that. So this is the terminating case, right, where count of elements is 0, so that means it's on, it's a translate. Actually, let me just check that this actually does work. Yeah, it does. And here it works as well. It creates a list. If I count this, it should say 2, right? Oh, something went wrong here. There, yeah. Yeah, okay. Right, so we'll call things pretty good for now. I'm happy with that. Is it perfect? Not really, but for the sake of having this work, that's okay. Okay, so translate. Let's just clean up this a little bit now. I can do this. Let me see, just for fun here. Let's see a list of def method things for a minute. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, that looks like it. That's fine, that's good. There must be a way to do like, okay, here. So if I do methods of translate element, if I do keys of methods. Cool. I'm clearly missing polyline, which is right here. Now, if I do that, oh, that's the wrong thing. Down here, translate element, polygon, polyline. This must have never been defined. Yeah, so if I do not sure if I'm doing this properly. Right, SVG elements is this set, and if I do keys methods of translate element, right, what I'm just trying to make is a quick comparison here. Intersection SVG elements and into set keys methods translate element. Is that gonna work? I wonder if it'll work. It does. Except intersection's not the right function. It should be difference. I think it has difference. Yeah. Okay, so this difference is showing the things that I missed in the translates here. And by missed, it just means they only didn't load into the REPL. So if I do this now, yeah. That's kind of a fun little silly helper thing. So let me make just a function here. Check implementation, and it's going to be, it's just going to take multi-method like that, and it's going to assume SVG elements is what. Check SVG impl. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. This is more for fun than anything else. Clojure.set/difference SVG elements. So the difference is between SVG elements and into set of keys methods of multi-method. Let's see if that works the way I want it to. Check SVG implementation of translate element. And then, so what I want to do actually is just make a little print line. Missing implementation 4, and then I want it to print this. Is that going to work the way I think? Let's see here. Will that print in a more beautiful way? No. Print line that. Map print line onto this whole thing. Just leave it like that. That looks pretty good. It's good enough for now. Sure, perfect. This is, strictly speaking, unnecessary. So I don't need to worry about it too much. Okay, but the next thing, I do kind of wonder if I should make a thing for text or if I should start to work on rotation now. So the other thing actually is group. G is not a function. I should maybe just call it G like it's supposed to be. Define text to contain text. Let's while I'm here, let me do this. Let me go SVG text. Let's have a look at that. So text does have an X and Y position, class, so it can just, right, that's just normal CSS styling. This is a difference, of course, which is a little annoying. Text color uses fill property. But in HTML, it uses color property. So that's a difference. Well, let's make just the basics here. So again, like I've done with text. Text is an interesting scenario now because I had assumptions with translate elements where it contained no nested stuff, but it does indeed. Contain nested stuff. Well, let's see what we can come up with here. Right, so if I do text, this is SVG text, right? It does produce this. Let me save this. And let's just zap this all away. And I do svg/text and just write this is svg text. Let's see what the default stylings actually look like, because I actually don't know. There's nothing. Hey, Dr. Zonk, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Why did that? Let's see here. Refresh. Ah, there is something. You having a good day so far? Let's see. Let's inspect this text element. Let's move it manually. Oh boy, that looks horrible. Why does it look like that? That's really bad. Font size. Font family. Font style, unset. That's nothing. This just looks hideous. It's surprising to me. I don't know why it's that way, but that's fine. We'll worry about that when we get there. This does work, which is good. Let me make a translate element here. If I define this one, this def method. Text. It's going to take an X and a Y, and it's going to have key, props, and text like that. Guaranteed a text element is going to have those three things. The key, props, and the text is going to be there. Yeah, so all I have to do really, let props be, oh, this is a little weird here. Why did I even do it this way? I don't need to. This one actually, I can make it k props like this. Get rid of this here, props, and then this is just k new props. Just like this. Very simple. Let's see. Right, so I don't need the props to be that, I need new props to be this. Oop. X plus X. Y is plus Y. So that's props. Very straightforward. Oh, gotta close that. And then here, K, new props, text. So they're missing, there's no implementations missing, which is good. Technically, well, that's actually not true, because I want to do G tags yet as well. but I'll get there in a moment. What I need to do now is move this into here to see if it translates properly, which it probably won't. I probably need to refresh to reload the definition of this new def method into there. Yes, so that works now. Sweet, that's looking good. Just need to save that. Awesome. Okay, so we have things working reasonably well. Text is ugly, but that's a problem I can solve in other ways. I could do oh, interesting. That's surprising. I thought text would be different there, but that's fine. Right, next thing to do now. I'm thinking about if I should build a translate for a group tag. And I think I should. Now if I do check implementation, I'm missing a G tag implementation, so let's go ahead and add that. Def in G. Contents. Right, so G is just going to be G props contents like that. Yeah. Let's just do content because that works too. Only difference is SVG G. Let's see what this is. If there's anything it can. It's a container. It's all it is just a container. Pardon me. Visibility, is that a thing, really? Let's do, well, let's find out what, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so that does work. You can hide whole groups, but that's fine. That's not what I'm worried about right now. That's meaningless, right? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Right, so what I need to do, right, it can have a default transform. Then I need to make a function that parses the transform string because it can be it can have translate, rotate, and scale as the valid transform operations, and technically it can have matrix transformation too, which is going to be something to work on. Eesh, this could get a little messier. But that's okay. Actually, can I... Is 3D transform a thing? Okay, nothing, okay, whatever. Okay, so things kind of work with 3D transformations, but that's not totally what I was thinking about. Let's just do Svg Transformation Matrix. Right, so let's have a look at transform here, right? So there's all kinds of stuff that you can put inside the transform tag. So I kind of need to make something that sort of parses that out as well, because this G tag can have any number of those sorts of things. So what is the smart approach here? Let's have a look for a moment. If I do hiccup.core/HTML on a G tag, it's G, and if I put some attributes there, it's fine as well. But what I want to check is if I do G transform translate 10 10, the translate is nicely plopped in there. If let me make this a little easier to read. Well, it's not much easier to read, but whatever. That's okay. G transform translate 10 10, and then the circles inside there, blah blah blah. What I wonder is, can I do this? Can I pass in? Is hiccup gonna read this fine? Not quite. That's not the right format, so that won't work for me. See this here? It almost works. This I can't have the colon there because that is wrong. Shoot, it's so close to correct. And if I did do it that way, it might make some things a little easier for me. But in any case, that's fine. That'll be okay. We'll do it the string parsing way, and go from there. Okay, the functions. Right, so there's the matrix, the transformation matrix function. It might be smart to just bake all of them into that and only use the transformation matrix, but then I lose a bit of readability on the output end. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll have to think about it. Pardon me. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't do, this is only a 2-dimensional, like it only does transformations on XY coordinates, not XYZ coordinates, right? So see this here, XY, it does not contain Z at all, which is fine. Right, translate. Translate's easy. Scale can take X and Y, so we'll do scale at some point. Rotate here by degrees. So there's optional XY parameters. Rotation is about the origin of the current coordinate system. Okay, so skew X by degrees and skew Y by degrees as well. Okay, so we'll these different things, I have to kind of make functions to help build up a transform string that can contain any of those. So I'll have to figure out an elegant way to do that, but for the time being, I'm gonna keep it fairly simple. Okay, so that is a base G tag there, and if I make a translate for that, I need to have a translate element G XY K props content. So I need some let statement to, oh, what have I done here? Oh, that's right, I forgot this. Let new props be something, and then I'm going to return K is going to be fine, new props content, like that. That should work for that. And here, new props is, this is where the slight difficulty comes in, because I need, just like I did with path, I need something that'll parse out the translate values and stuff like that. So that is going to be a bit of a challenge. But let me think about that for a minute. I have this function here, translate string. It takes an x and a y and provides the string that is that there. That's a very technical way of describing it. I have in the string helpers thing here, string to points, path to points. I wonder if I can abuse this function for a minute. Nothing. Did I not? Okay, so that's not correct, which is totally fine. Well, let me just do it this way. Translate string I don't like it. String to translate vals like that. Yeesh. Okay, better than nothing though. Let me do this for a minute just to avoid popping all over the place. Right, so what this is going to do, it's going to take a string. Let's split this string on the regex. Is that gonna work? What's this gonna do? Nothing. Okay, that's obviously not helpful. Okay. I wonder, so if I were to let's make a fake string here. Define A as some string, right? That's got translate values to it and rotate and a scale. Why not? Scale 2 times. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Very simple. Yeah. A is this weird string. Oh shoot, let me redefine it a little easier here. Like this. Alright, so there, if I print that, there we go. So this is the string I'm working with to test or just build up something. If I string split A on the word translate, it guarantees that the next second of that is a string and it guarantees that the first set of brackets is going to have the translate that I need, right? So what I could do there is string split this whole business on a close bracket. Oh, maybe I need to escape that. Yeah, and then it's first of that, and then here, this, if I do string this, there's definitely a better way to do this, but this is a start. If I read string this, and then I do into the vector of that, boom, I've got, and then if I do now if I do apply translate string to this whole thing, I get the translate string out of that. Okay, so what I actually need is a slightly better approach here, where I do I could do something like this. Transform string, which takes a map, and what I do there is a transform map looks like something like this. Translate key, and then the value is x, y, rotate is degrees, x, y, where these are optional. So we got translate, rotate, scale is scale x, scale y, x and y, just leave it like that. Right, and then so a transform string, all it needs to do is convert if I do string, if I apply string to some map where I've got A1, right, so it just B2, yeah, that's not quite what I need. Okay. Key value pair to string is just going to be, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Right. It's going to take key value like that, okay? And then key is going to be turned into a string by replace string key. The match of this is that, and the replacement's nothing. Yep. And yeah. Make another thing, key to. Oh, wait a second. I also don't. No. This is incorrect. If I do string over a key, it does have the colon. If I do string of symbol key, it drops the colon, which is maybe cheating a bit, but it works. So in this case, so here, in this case, let's do a let key be symbol k, and then value. This is where the value has to be valid. It's going to be a list or of. If I do if I apply list to a vector, does that turn it into a list? It does. Could I also do into does that do the same thing? Almost, it reverses it, but so if we do apply list, that keeps the order the same, which is fine for me. Right, so then actually all I need to do is string key v. Let's see if that actually works. Okay, so then transform string should actually just be apply string. No, we don't even need to apply string, do we? We just do string of intersperse or interpose new lines. Is that right? I believe so. Interpose new lines on map. It might be, it is apply string. Apply string to the interpose of new lines over the map. Transform kv to string of the map that you pass it. So let's check my logic here. If I do transform to string of the map translate 1010, that nicely turns that into that, but let's sanity check here by rotate 20. Sweet, that seems to be working. And on that note, I should go to the washroom for a minute. I'll be right back. I won't be too long. All right. All right, so we've got now a transform to string Let's do this. Transform key value to string, transform map to string. Does that make a little more sense? It's maybe a little more concise, but reasonably readable. I'll call that good for the time being. All right, so we have this situation where, let me, this I can delete because it was, wait, can I? Yes, it wasn't anything. Okay, so we have this situation where I've got a transform map to string, but I need to create a function that does the reverse as well. So define string to transform map. So the obvious, like the struggles with this, right, manipulating and doing string work like that is like this, a string is just going to be a string. I have to know beforehand that it's the right type of string to be passing into these functions, right? So for instance, I have, where did it go? This here, path to points, right? This takes a string, but in order for this to return useful data, it must be a string that was produced by a function like this. So it, you know, it kind of can get confusing. So if there's a better approach to this, I feel like there might be, but I actually don't know it. And I don't, for the time being, this is gonna be okay, I think. It'll be better than nothing. Anyway, so, okay, so what I need to do is, if I assume I have this string here, A, I can do string split lines split lines, and that'll nicely give me each string independently. And then all I have to do is run. Oh, I could actually make a function here oops, there. Okay, so let's build a function that does split on, that does find the parens. What happens if I do read string of string split. So imagine translate, right? And we're gonna split on open paren. There, we've got the key is easy. It's just the keyword from that split. Yeah, okay, so actually let's do let key Hey Bizmonger, how's it going? Long time no see, how you been? Let's make this split like that. Split the string off the open paren like that. And then key is the, oops. Yeah, and then key is just a keyword of first of split. Oop. Val is going to be let's see here. If I do apply vec on some list 1, 2, 3, yeah, or maybe can I do vec? Oh boy, 1, 2, 3, yeah, let's do that. Vec read string of string. Replace that with second of split. All right, let's see if this works. That's always the trick, right? Key val. You're well? Glad to hear it, Biz. That is good. Are you still? I believe last time you were in the chat, you hadn't gone yet. You were in Toronto and you're going to be going to Florida or something like that, right? Visiting family or whatnot. I hope that went well, and I hope you're comfortable where you're at right now. I might be a little off on the details. I don't remember specifically, but you were going on some visit or something like that. Just hope it went well. Okay, let's try that function out. Wait, did I def it? There we go. Okay, so if I do string to transform key value of translate, it doesn't work. Let's try let's figure that out. Translate 10, 20. We'll split that with open paren. Yeah, so if I string, oops. If I read string that, and if I vec that, huh, I thought that would work. Evidently not quite. Well, it's a little strange. Let's look at this one at a time here. Let's do this instead, and we'll have a look at okay, string cannot be cast to function. Oh, of course, this is bad. Stir is a function, and I'm using it as a, yeah, that's not good. That's very bad, very bad. There we go. Okay, actually, that is something I should amend in here, for example. I'm shadowing, like I'm just, in some cases here, I shouldn't pass in a function. It has to, stir is already a function name. I'm trying to use a variable name stir. It should not be that way. It's bad. It's confusing at least, and it's causing errors. So that's no good. Okay, let's see if this function works now the way I want it to. Yes, it does. Perfect. That is perfect. Okay, so that does mean this function should be relatively easy, actually. It should just be Actually, can I do into map? Can I do that? Oop, I goofed. Let's delete. All right, let's have a look here. Clojure, turn key value pairs into map. There's a way to do that. I don't, okay. Into sorted map. That's not what I want. Maybe it is what I want. Into map. I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, so this, did I just type something wrong? Oh. Oh, I totally did this wrong. This is silly. This into is wrong. Okay, so that does work. Okay, so I can just do this into map string to xf key value, map that function over everything in the over s/split lines of s. Right, so now let me try that out. If I do, right, so let's def a as the transform map. Oh, I have to transform map to string of let's do translate 1020 and rotate 20 about the point 100 100. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so that's the string. Now if I do string to transform map of a, I should get the same map out, and it looks like I do indeed. Cool. So let me see. Let's just do this one more time here. Translate 1020, rotate 20 100 100. So A is just a map. Def B is transform map to string of A. So B is a string, and then let's do equal A to string. Is A equal to string to transform map of B? They are equal. Okay, so that proves that they invert each other, which is really good. I am very happy with that. Okay, so using that bit of logic, right, what I can do is now build the function translate element of a group here Hey, Peroniada, Peroniada. I keep messing that up. Sorry about that. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Having a good day so far? Feeling rather good, but a little dizzy. And me? Well, I'm feeling good and I'm not feeling dizzy. Sorry to hear that. That can be frustrating. Hope you're okay. Hope you're sitting down and not like running on a treadmill or something that you could hurt yourself. Yikes. Due to the rapid weather changes, you think? Yeah, so I get headaches and migraines and stuff sometimes, and I don't know how much of it is like old wives' tales, you know, where, oh yeah, I can feel the weather changing because my head goes crazy. I have no idea, but I feel it, or I understand the struggle of feeling dizzy, and it does sometimes seem to correlate with weather changes. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling dizzy. Hopefully you can, hopefully that doesn't last too long for you, because it's no fun. I'm in the middle of doing this new props thing here. What I need to do is pull from let's see if I can do this. I can do props and update. Actually, first, since I know it's a G tag, I need to actually take transform out of props, which is going to be transform props like that, and then new transform is going to be, well, actually what I have to do first is this. I have to do string to transform map of transform props. That gets me a map of the transforms to work with, and then new transform, it can be thread first transform and just do update translate with a function which is map plus xy Does that work? Let's see if that works. I'm not sure that that works. We shall find out in a moment. Okay, so that's new transform, and then what I do here, now I need to make new props, which is just going to be assoc, and associate. Assoc is map key val. Yeah. So assoc into props transform new transform. Okay. Something wrong with that. Yeah? Okay, let's have a look here. Syntax error. So it may be related to this update here. Parameter list. I often do mess up this update part here. Let's see. Well, okay, let's break it down one little bit at a time here. Let's see. If we take, okay, so transform, let's define A to be this G here, which has props transform and the string translate 10 10. Okay, so that's A. If I do string to transform map of transform of second of A, I do get this map. Okay, and so now we've got, so this is XF here, it's equivalent there. New transform would be, if I do update, okay, this is where I think the mistake is. If I thread this whole thing into update translate with this map function, I want to map the, let's imagine I'm adding 10 10 to each of those. So that does work. Okay, so that's fine. Then all I need to do is new props. Here maybe is where I've messed it up. Assoc. Oh, here, this has to be transform map to string. So this has to be a string value here, and then I can do that. Maybe that should work. Whoops, let's make sure this is correct here. Assoc that, that's that, that's that. Let's see if that actually works. Something wrong still. kprops content. Let's see here. So key, the value is some string, why isn't this working? I'm a little confused. I would have thought this would work, but let's break it down. We always can break it down and have a look. We'll do it this way. What, does that work? No, it's not there. Oh, I know. This was a silly goof on my part. And it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. Okay, it's like this. These are all def methods, right? So they have a multi-method thing. I didn't recognize this should also say def method, not def n function. So that was just a silly oversight on my part there. Hate it when that happens. It happens when I stop paying attention. So if I translate an empty G tag element by 1010, it does work, and that's pretty cool. So let's try. Let's see what happens if this happens, if I do that. Okay. Perfect. Wait, kinda. Yeah, that does actually make sense. That's good. Let me try one more thing here. Yes. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Right, so I think we're good. Let me just try. Okay, so this makes sense that it says translate 20 because I have translate 10 and another translate 10 nested in there. And then the circle is wrapped by the group tag, so it does not itself get a translate element there. But if I were to do this, wrap that one with its own, I have the two translates showing up there, and then the circle inside here is also translated there, which is good. Okay, so we have translate element G working as well, looks like anyway. So what we can do is just have a quick little peek on here and say this should all look exactly the same, but have a group tag in it after all, I think. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this breaks or not. It does break. Oh, but that might just be because I need to refresh that. Okay, it looks like we're good. So if I inspect this, I should see, okay, so this SVG text element here should have, instead of, well, okay, there should be a G tag here, translate 200, 100, which is from this here. And then the text element should be translated only by 20 because of this inner one here. So things are looking correct, which is really nice. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Okay, so let's zip on up here for a minute. Let's see what I've done. Okay, let's get rid of this. And we'll make these here get their own little section here, because they are indeed. So those are string helpers. This has to be transform helpers. Yeah, that works. Closed path string and path to points. These also should get their own little spot. These are just straightforward string things here. This needs to be split and put here. Uh-oh. There we go. These here should be let's see, path helpers. Perfect. Okay, so that is just, those are all still helpers related to string manipulation. Oops. Miscellaneous. Path helpers and transform helpers. Those are critically important for doing the transforms and translates and stuff like that. So we've got translate pretty much covered, which is really quite nice. We have a working recursive sort of approach here. Oh, here, let me clean up this naming a little bit here. Translate. Okay, so the first thing here is multi-methods and that's all the multi-methods for those up to here. And then this one is the what do you call that? The interface. I don't know if that's the right word for it. It's not an well, it's the interface. Does that make sense? It's fine for now. It's like the public interface of the whole thing. These technically I could make them all private. Maybe I should, but for the time being, we'll leave it be there. Okay, so that does mean now, should I do scale? Yeah. Interface. This is the old method. And then I need to do a def and scale there, but first, the multi-methods here. Def multi scale element, and it has the same approach here. Right, which is the function is going to be passed basically a hiccup data structure. It does not need it doesn't need its first sorry. So this function here is when you call scale element, it passes in the arguments you give it and the element to which you're going to scale. So scale will be an x or an x and y. So it's going to be optional, this underscore here just means for dispatching you don't need to know the parameters you're passing. You just need to know the tag or the key that the element has, right? So that is how you, so then def method, if I do a def method scale element, when this function returns ASDF, do this. That's all that means. And here the arguments would be XY element, like that. So this XY is optional, or like it is just ignored completely in the dispatch function here. That's why that's an underscore. I always mix this up when I don't write multi-methods for a while, because it just seems a little confusing. Like I always forget that no real, like nothing happens here. This is purely the way in which Clojure will pick the proper implementation to use. So ASDF key here. This works as long as the stuff being passed in has the shape like that. So the first is going to be this key. And then in any case where it doesn't match, it fails. But you can provide also, you can do, if you do default, it'll run if anytime this doesn't return, it doesn't match. Anyway, none of that made sense. Okay, so transforms, translate, multi-methods. Let's start with circle because it's always nice and simple. And let's have a look here. But before I start to think about that, I'm gonna get some coffee and go to the washroom. So once again, get up, stretch, won't be long. Okay. This is so ugly. I'm gonna comment the text out here because I hate it. That should disappear, right? Oh, I wonder. Okay, so that's actually good. That's fair. That's fair. This is a problem. Stop. I think I got caught in a loop because I accidentally called svg/translate with nothing at all. So actually, before I pop ahead and do this business, let's comment that out as a. All right, let's see if there is a way to fix that, because that is going to be a problem. I'm going to mess it up from time to time, and that's just no good. Okay, so translate this interface here. I wonder if I could actually just do this when. Oh no! If I do this, wrap the whole thing in a when element. Let's refresh this page. Right, so what I want to do, just to see, let me just see what happens here. Save that. Does this crash? Okay, it doesn't. Okay, so I think that solved that actually, which is nice. Oh, this is coming up because where's that now? Draw scale doesn't currently exist. If I refresh this, that should solve that particular problem. Let's have a look. Yep, so I'm gonna have, yeah, okay, so there's some problems. Maybe I should just do this. Lazy part of me. Set scale interface, save it as scale. Refresh this. Save this. Okay, good. All right, we're in the money. Basically, this now, since this translate function here in the interface of translate here, if I go here, interface, when lm here is just all that is. So element, right, is first from elements. So, but if I do first on an empty list, it turns nil. And so when, basically this is what happened. This is what's happening when first of a list that contains things returns some value, right? Do things here. So it does things. But if I run the same code on an empty list, it returns nil. So that does mean instead of failing, this here will just nicely, it just misses entirely. So that just means there's some list here. This group tag, the data structure will be a list and it'll have one entry in it that's just nil because this translate's not doing anything. But the mechanisms of how it all gets rendered out at the end is nil values in the list they don't cause problems. So I can use that to my advantage, and it just protects without failure this thing here, which I think is really useful as a mechanism for, like, if you want to comment out stuff and you don't want to just, well, I mean, it was bad before. Without this, it was stuck in a loop. It couldn't terminate at all, so I think that's a little better. So I'm pretty happy with that, but I will still pop it out like that, save that, and that's good. This G tag, I'll just leave that in there for now. That's good. Okay, so translate, I think, is well covered at this point. So let's pop in and have a look at scale element here. It's cool. There is no null pointer exception. I guess there isn't. Well, so it seems nice. There are definitely scenarios where you can cause exceptions related to null and all that, but when you're dealing with lists, it doesn't end up being a real problem. So let me see if I could come up with a contrived example. So if I map inc on 1, 2, 3, 4, that should return a list where all the numbers are increased by 1. And I think if I just have nils in there, oh, so there you go. That there are null pointer exceptions. They still do exist. You can, it's, what I was referring to was more a function of, let's see if I could show what I meant here. hiccup.core/html. Let's see if I can shed some light on this. Right, so this creates some HTML. this creates a div with another paragraph in it. So here there's a div with 2 paragraphs, and here what I'm pretty sure is fine is if I have a nil in that list. So this is what I meant. The output from these 2 calls here are equivalent. The outputs are equivalent, I should say. But see here, I do have a nil in there, whereas I don't have a nil in here. So in the context of hiccup and HTML running over this list, it just ignores it just as a function of this compiler here and how it was written, it's not a problem. So you could theoretically, I think this works too. Nil just does nothing. If I have a list of nil, nil's not an element name, so this is where things do mess up. If I just do take 20, repeat nil, that spits out a list into the compiler, and then it does nothing. So yeah, so you can have, if you do +2 nil, that's how you get a null pointer exception, because you can't add 2 to a nil value. Like, there's still weirdness there. So null pointer exceptions do still happen, unfortunately, but when you're doing list manipulations, there are many situations where it's pretty safe to pass nils through things. You do want to look at the implementation of things to make sure, but often it's not a big deal. You can always do things like there. You can always run filters over your lists or your sequences to guarantee that nils won't exist, right? So I could do this, map inc over that list, and I guaranteed no matter how many nils I put in there, it just returns the inc over only the things that it can do. So that's kind of a functional way of working with lists and stuff like that. I happen to just really like thinking that way about things. It's a lot of fun, and it's pretty powerful, right? Like, it didn't take me long to build out that example, right? But very fortunately, the creator of the HTML compiler thing nicely handled nils in the lists to render, so I can use that to my advantage. Hopefully that makes sense. You know, if my explanations go off the rails sometimes, I'm really sorry about that. I do my best, but sometimes I can't explain things. But I try. I do try. Okay, scale. This is an interesting thing. How do I want to handle scale? Let's have a look. Oops. Let's go over here and look at SVG scale. That's neat. What is this? Okay, so scale is a property You can make it a property directly, right? Let me try. Scale equals to. Did it work? I don't know if it worked. Well, let's do the lazy way here for a minute. If I go to shapes, circle, and I pop into the base scale 3, okay. If I refresh this page and these circles scale up, that's what I'm checking for. They do not. Okay, good. So that doesn't do anything. Let's consider, whoops, okay, circle, scale element X, Y, and the element, all right. Well, we can actually change this to k props, right? No, it has to be this way, k props. Then in here we do let new props be thread props, where you update the X. No, that's wrong. Boy, this can get a little complicated, I think. Let me see. I have to test something here. Okay. If I do G transform scale 1, 2, but inside here I make a circle that's 50. Okay, that should work. No. Oh, right. SVG. Oh, the translate didn't work. Okay, so the translation issue aside. Oh, I see. That's actually a bit of a problem. Okay. Is there a way to okay, so you can do map and map. No. All right, so what I'm realizing is there's still a weakness with how I handle transforms in the string here. If there's no translate built in, it will not translate, it will not apply this translate to the G tag there. So that's a bit of a problem. It is one I can fix at some point. Yeah. The easy thing to do is to, for every shape that exists, seed, like I could pass a transform string into every single thing, but then you have potential issues with, well, then you just have, you know, if you haven't applied any transform to something, it still has this massive transform string in the output, which I don't want. So I need a little note to myself here. Transforms, let's just put it in the top level of transforms here. Let's see here, there's a problem when translating G tags if you don't already have translate. This is because update map key function oh, it can work. I don't totally know why this is yet. Right, so update an empty map into some key A, some value. Does that work directly? No. If I make it a function, no, it needs an argument. I see. So you can kind of cheat it a little bit, but that's, I don't love it. Yeah. Okay. But transforms doesn't work totally. Oops. There. But so the thing I was getting at was I'm not entirely sure how I should handle scale element. So the thing here was when I do translate, I directly manipulate the positions of the shapes I'm drawing. So by that same logic, I should be able to scale by directly manipulating the values of the shapes. But the problem that arises there is here with a circle, this you can scale a circle non-uniformly, right? So if I do 1 and 0.5 here and rebuild this, oh, yes, this is broken. What did I do? There. Right, now just ignore it, please. Ugh, this is silly. Okay, let's do this is bad. I don't know if that will actually work. Okay, so we got something kinda. What I'm trying to do is, yeah, okay, all right. Forget this. This is silly. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. Right, there. Okay. Right, the whole point I'm trying to make is this circle itself still has the same value here, right? You can read that, but then you can see that you scaled it with different XY ratios. Now, if I only allow uniform scaling, then this is a non-issue, because what I can do is this. If I go def method scale element circle, and I take scale only as the argument there, scale, and the second thing is k props, and that's all a circle needs, right? Then I can just do let new props be thread props through update r with the function multiply scale by the existing value of r. That will nicely just apply directly the scale. So if let's finish out that thought. Let's do k new props, and we can even test this out. Okay, so if I save this, right. Okay, so now let's go over here. Let me get rid of this G. Get back over to just a regular old circle. Save that. This should be, yeah, there we go. Now if I run my own scale element function, and let's scale it up twice the size, that should, it does not, oh, I have to cancel that, refresh. Yeah, so that does work. Okay, so scale 1, this circle will have a radius of 45 here, but if I scale this to 2, that'll change to 90. Where'd it go? Circle radius 90. But so here is the problem, right? If I allow, just like people might expect if they're using just a wrapper over SVG, you should be able to scale X and Y independently of each other. So you could draw ovals by squishing circles. My scale element approach, there's no way for the circle, like it makes, you can't you can't do it. What I would have to do instead is fake it by changing a circle to be an ellipse, and that is, I don't think, the right thing to do. It's surprising. It would be confusing. So I think what I need to do instead is make new props, have a transform value. I need 1 second to answer a message here. Let's see here. Meetings. All right, enough of that. Right, so what I think I need it to do instead is update transform, where I'm going to cheat just for a minute here. And the reason I'm saying this is cheating is because this will this will overwrite any nested scaling. So this is just me testing something out. Sorry for being so inactive today. I had to finish something. Oh, don't worry about it at all. No problem. You know, you doing your own stuff is more important. I've got my own stuff going on. No worries. No worries at all. Okay, will this even work? Will it work? We'll find out. All right, let's try that. Oh, this is gonna break. I need to make this like that. Save that. Now here, should see, this is gonna break this page because I need to refresh it first. Okay, it kinda works. Let's have a look here. Let's inspect. Let's have a look at the circle. Okay, so it correctly has transform scale. Is different there. CY, CX. Why did that change? Oh, that's because of the translate there, of course. And then the radius is 45. So that idea should work just fine, and as it turns out, I don't think I need to do def method. If I have to apply scales as transform properties to every element, I don't actually need a multi-method to do it, because the mechanism will be exactly equivalent for every single shape. It will pull out the transform if it exists, update it with a scale value, as dictated by what the user supplies. And then it will it'll just create the new transform string. So does that make sense? Gotta think about that. I don't know if I like that, right? Because it seems oh boy. Let's go ahead and try it the way I'm referring to. So let's try that. Let's get rid of this stuff. So scale element is going to take, it's going to have, let's assume just one element is there, right? So scale element is going to take scale, which can either be how does this work? Let's see here. Scale X, scale Y, and then element, which is going to be K props, and then content. Let's just see what happens when I just just print them all out. K props, print line, content. Let's have a look. What is this going to look like? Scale element. Let's scale 2 to circle 5. Let's imagine that. Scale 2 to K is circle, props is this, and then nil is content, which is totally fine. It works perfectly. Perfectly okay to have that there, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Sure, that makes sense. Now let's okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, so you can optionally pass just a single, right? So you could leave scale X or scale Y. Do I like that? I don't love it. Well, what I can do, actually, since I'm still going to have the interface function, what I can do is make the interface function a little more complicated in terms of figuring out, right? Like I could make, so scale element requires me to pass both, but I could make scale optionally take either, 1, 2, or 1, and then the thing that it's doing here. So that could theoretically be fine. I'll leave that to be okay for now. So what I do here is just, well, let's just go right ahead and try to build it out. Let's grab transform is just going to be transform map to string, string to transform map of transform of props right? Right, so this function here, string to transform map, if it's well, it needs if it's an empty string, it's an empty map. Does that make sense? I don't know. Shoot. It's a bit of a pain. Let's say if transform string is if string to transform map. Maybe I should make that have something to it. String helpers, transform helpers. String to transform map here is what happens if I do into map nil should be an empty thing. If I do s split lines of nil, that's where I get a problem. Okay. Here I should just have, actually no, let's do it this way. Let's do let s be, oh wait, if let I've never used if let before. Let's see if I could figure out how it works. If let. We'll read the docs on that one. Clojure if let, because I don't know how it works. Fun to try it, maybe. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'll find out soon enough. Okay, so if let ss, otherwise, right? So if s is something, you end up with a map here. Otherwise, you end up with a map there. Let's find out. String to transform map. If I do nil, it's a map. If I do an empty string, that's a shame, eh? That's a pain. Oh, I could do this maybe. S/split lines S, and this would be just S. Second will work. Let's try it. Nope. Nope. No. Ooh. Okay, so that's worse. Oh, wait. Okay. All right, at least we have that and that. For now, that'll be fine in theory. Oh no, it actually won't be fine. Let's see, if I split a string on the regex of new line, but if I split lines, What is going on here? Okay. So it's not the split lines thing. That was I was wrong thinking on my part. It's actually here, string to xf to kv, that errors out when I don't have sensible, when I don't have things that resemble what I would have guessed it to be. So ASDF this should work. Yeah, okay, I see, I gotcha. Right, so this kind of works. The idea here is does this even need to happen? Let me double check. Maybe my whole thinking was wrong from the start here. Let's double check this. String to transform map nil. Okay, so it does matter. It does matter. So we can go back here and do if let ss. All that means is if s is not nil, then you run this.